Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our preview for This Is Us, Season 6, Episode 14, the night before the wedding. Answers. They are almost here. We could actually be getting them.
Yeah, and this promo that we're going to talk about had one central message, which was sort of like, who is the one? And I was like, who's the one? Are you talking about like, who's the one he maybe hooked up with, or who is the one? Because one of those choices is the wedding singer who we just met very briefly.
Maybe the wedding singer is the one. Maybe she sings
Okay.
her way into Kevin's heart.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, she's a really popular actress. Would she really book a role where she's in it for like a hot minute?
No, she would not. So that is where there's a lot to talk about here. We are going to theorize. We're going to try to break down some of these moments in this promo that are so intriguing, but also hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for your support all season long. We have reviews and previews, of course, of This Is Us throughout the rest of this emotional, tear-inducing final season.
We also have a poll going on our
Yes.
community tab, which you can find on our main page of YouTube. Right under our banner, there's like a bunch of little tabs, and one of them says community. And the poll that's going on right now is for This Is Us. So we know that obviously it's ending. And we want to know what else you guys watch. So we have 5 shows up on the poll right now, which are shows that we already cover here at the channel, except for House of the Dragon, which we will be covering here at the channel. So, take a look at that. If there's anything on there, we want to know what else you guys are watching. So if any of those 5 shows you're watching, hit the poll. If there's something that's not on there that you are watching, leave it in the comment of that poll because, we want to continue having discussions with you guys after This Is Us. And we just want to know what else you guys are watching. And right now, looking at the poll, it looks like a lot of you are also watching Blacklist, which is great because we love that. And Handmaid's Tale, which, hopefully is going to be coming soon. We love that show. We've covered that show here already.
Where's the freaking premiere date, guys?
Like,
give us a little bit more of an announcement. I know they've been filming, but yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff coming up. And of course, there's a lot of great stuff on This Is Us next week. I will give the hot take right at the start.
All right, here we go.
They're talking about the one as in the one. They're talking about the person. There's 3 options set up in this promo, obviously, Cassidy, Sophie, and the wedding singer, Arielle. And one of these 3, I think it's going to be with Kevin for the long haul. That's it. Book it. It's happening.
Okay, so let's talk about the wedding singer and the actress playing her, because we saw a lot of comments in our last video asking who she was or saying who she was. So we're just going to bring it up. We brought it up in the video who she was and what she's been in, but we'll bring it up again in this video in case you missed that, because it was near the end of our last video that we talked about her. So,
all right. So Katie Lowe's, she was on Scandal for a long period of time. If you guys watch Scandal, you already know exactly who I'm talking about. But beyond just that, she's really busy right now. Like, she was in Inventing Anna, so obviously she's got a lot of like Shonda Rhimes connections here. Clearly, she also is on a mid-season comedy called How We Roll that's on right now. So the fact that she found a little bit of time to do this, and she was also in that hilarious like wedding dance video a lot of the cast members put on Instagram. It's like, clearly she has fit in with this group rather well in a short period of time. And Katie is so busy that she would not be doing This Is Us if it was just like, come on, do a couple of minutes, sing something at the reception and go, unless she's like some crazy super fan of this show who just wanted to say she was on it. But
she very well could be. I mean, Carrie Underwood did that on Cobra Kai. It didn't work there, but it works here. And because this promo really is focusing on who is the one, who is he going to end up with, and here are the 3 choices. And the fact that the wedding singer is on there does tell me, she may actually be the one. I personally think that it's probably going to be Sophie, and it's because this show loves a full circle moment, even if it actually doesn't work. And I'm not saying it doesn't work for Sophie. I'm saying sometimes a show does a full circle moment that doesn't stick the landing. It would stick the landing with Sophie. They have a huge history together. They've been married. They've been through a lot together. Sophie is part of this family forever. If they end up together, I don't think many people are going to be upset with that. And knowing what we know about this show, that they do love a full circle
Yes, they
moment,
do.
it makes sense. Now, that being said, we've seen sometimes that there is no full circle moment. It just doesn't happen that often. We saw it with Nikki. He did not end up with Sally. He ended up meeting Edie on a plane.
Yeah.
And, he's extremely happy. So can we have another moment like that? It's possible.
That's where, that's where I don't think it's going to be the wedding singer. Like, I really don't. But that's where there's still like that one little sliver of doubt that, okay, maybe they are going in this direction because they went in this direction with Nikki already. Like, my sort of feeling on this wedding singer is they sort of show her in the promo saying that she's like really good at watching people and she like picks up a lot on signals. I feel like she's going to see that something is on Kevin's mind, because based on sort of the timeline we saw at the end of this past episode, it seems like he meets up with the wedding singer after he's with Sophie. So he's clearly going to have something that's weighing on him. And I think she's going to be sort of like that oracle who sort of tells him to follow his heart, to go for it, that she is going to be like this random person who ends up sort of shining a light down from the heavens that tells Kevin where and when he should go, no matter who it is. And I could be totally wrong on all of this. It's just like, I think they gotta know that after so many years, to just put him with a random person we just met, even if it's Katie Lowe's, that I don't think people are really gonna buy into it.
No, I mean, people are still having a tough time buying into PHILLIP, and he's been around, a little bit here and there, and now all of a sudden he's married to Kate, and some people are like, okay, all right, I get it, it's cool, it's whatever it is, but there's lots of people who are just like, I just don't see it, and I think getting this close to the finish line where, for all these seasons, we're like, is it going to be Cassidy? Is it going to be Madison? Is it going to be Sophie? Maybe Zoe's coming back to just throw in random wedding singer. I think that's not really a satisfying ending for Kevin, since most of the show has been about him finding himself, finding happiness inside himself, to then be able to move forward in a relationship that's very meaningful and purposeful in his life.
The big question, I think, with Sophie right now is what happens with Sophie's marriage? Because we know that Sophie was with someone else. I can envision Sophie being sort of the person at the end. What I can't envision is them painting some sort of situation where Kevin like gets involved in somebody else's marriage. I mean, it happens in life. It's just, I don't know if This Is Us is going to go in that particular controversial direction so close to the finale.
I'm just going to say, if Sophie is still married and they are hooking up, it's going to be tough, because then it's going to feel like, an assassination on her character.
Yeah.
Kevin cheated on her while they were married, and then she's going to cheat on her husband. It's just kind of like, no, I don't think so. I feel like she knows what that pain is like, so she's not going to do that. But on the other side, Kevin has had so much growth. He really has. And yes, I know he's been dating a lot and he's trying to find somebody. It doesn't feel the same like when he was kind of spiraling out and sleeping with lots of people. It like legitimately feels like he's trying to find the one. He's not having any luck with it. And that's kind of where he is. But if we take all this Kevin growth and then have him sleep with someone who is married, then he really hasn't learned anything. And like, I know there will be people out there in this fandom that will defend it and be like, well, they were meant to be together. It's, it's fate, whatever. They can wait until the divorce. They can wait. Like, if they really are like, yeah, we want to be together. This is still here for us. I want to see a scene where Sophie's like, let me get the paper signed before we cross the line, because it has to be clean.
I feel like in some way, shape, or form, Sophie's marriage has got to already either be on the rocks or over in this episode. Like there's a line in the promo where, Kevin's like, oh, you got to be exhausted. And she's just sort of like, oh, I think I may have had a second wind. And she says it in this way that's just like, oh, I really want to spend time with you. And it's just like, okay, so this isn't something that is like that spur of the moment. And like, that just sort of like blinking, it's there. Like there's a purposefulness to the two of them spending time together in the way that we sort of see them walking side by side. It's reflective, it's emotional. I think there's something that's deep going on between the two of them, whether that is them on the road to being back together or just on the road to being in each other's lives again.
Yeah, her husband is not at that wedding.
No.
Like, we have not seen him at that wedding. I did notice that she is still wearing a ring on her wedding finger. So she may just be in, turbulence in her marriage where they're separated. I mean, clearly, if he isn't going to go to the wedding, their wedding is in real bad, or their marriage is in really bad shape. So, we did see in the promo that they are spending time together during the day, going into dusk when they're walking through the vineyard. So, like you said, he's going to be meeting up with that wedding singer after. I agree. I also think that she's going to be sort of this shining light to be like, oh, I read people well, let's talk. And they're going to have a talk at the bar. Where it gets interesting is everything with Cassidy. We saw that Cassidy did go into Kevin's room, did leave her shawl there, and we did see in the promo that she was like, I can't get out of this dress, help me with the zipper. So it may very well be her undergarment. Does that mean he slept with her? I actually still am sitting on no, I don't think he did. I think that after everything with Sophie, everything, the big talk with the wedding singer, that he needs a friend. And they are very tight. Like, they are really friends through and through.
I am now fully on team Kevin and Cassidy are getting together at the end of all of this. This is where, I was kind of in that way after this past episode. And I'm not saying I'm in this way now just because he helped her with her dress or anything like that.
No,
I just think it
happens.
just happens. That's nothing. But I think it's just seeing the way that the promo is put together and sort of reflecting on sort of their history together. Like we did see with the Nikki and Edie story that this show loves to do curveballs to a certain extent. And I think they're going to do a curveball with Kevin in that he's not necessarily going to end up with his first love with Sophie, who he already had a second chance with already. So it's not like, there was just one shot when they were much younger and that's it. But I think with Cassidy, the appeal is like he first meets up with her. It's not that long ago, just a couple, but there's a couple of seasons worth of development between the two of them. Both of them have a very shared emotional connection that is deep and raw and painful. And I think the biggest sort of stumbling block for the two of them has just been that, okay, Kevin has this life in Los Angeles. He's doing a completely different thing. There's no real feasible path for the two of them to get together. But I sort of feel like after spending time with Sophie and after spending time with the, mystical oracle wedding singer, maybe the light is shining down on Kevin. I'm not saying that he and Cassidy hook up per se, but I think they could be spending a lot of time together that night. They could end up in some very, very deep conversations. I mean, you're at a wedding, and sometimes when you're at a wedding and you're a guest or you're sort of family and you don't have that much to do, you just end up in long conversations with people and your mind goes in different directions. Maybe that night in a conversation with Cassidy, he sort of realizes, okay, this is it. I'm going to stay out here on the East Coast. I'm going to find a way to show her that I am the person for her. And I just think back to Cassidy's first appearance, back in that episode Strangers, and it's they introduced her in that episode with that title for a reason. I am all in on this. Don't screw it up. This is us.
No, I think he very well could end up with Cassidy. They have set up a lot with them. They are both have struggled with sobriety. They are both sober together. He has a better understanding of what she's gone through as a vet. And then on top of it, her and Nikki are close. Him and, Nikki are close as well,
Yeah.
obviously. And the trio of them and the foundation of their friendships, very, very tight. They're both single parents, so
Yeah.
they have an understanding of how that works together and how they're able to do that on their own. I think it's just, we also know he is going to be back on the East Coast. He's started this business with her,
Yeah.
with Nikki, the big three homes. He's going to be having his big compound built there. Rebecca's eventually going to be there, which means that Kevin will probably be living out there as well. I think they probably are setting up for Cassidy. It's just with this show and their full circle
Yeah.
moments, I'm just like, I feel like he's going to end up with Sophie. But I think Cassidy would also be very, very rewarding for me for the way that they have set that up. There is just a lot between them when it comes to just foundation of friendship, foundation of understanding.
The funniest thing about all of this is that no matter what direction This Is Us chooses to go in with this, for this next video, when they've actually sort of revealed it, if they really reveal it in this episode, I am going and I'm putting on like my full Skyrim Ebony Warrior armor, and I'm just prepared for what the comments are going to be, because like half of the comments are going to be thrilled, and the other half are going to be straight up preparing for battle with this show.
No, people are very passionate about this
Yes.
show, and they, we've all been invested in Kevin for 6 seasons. Like, we want him to be happy, and I think that that's the one thing we can all agree on. We
Yeah.
just want Kevin to be happy. But
Yeah.
we all have our preferences.
Yes.
So yes, absolutely. The moment that they reveal that it's either Sophie or Cassidy, there's going to be big fighting between, the two groups of people. But if they bring out that it is the wedding singer, I will be fighting with everybody over on This Is Us, because like, come on, you can't introduce somebody in the last reel and be like, hey, you interested in this? I am not interested in this. Not the wedding singer, please.
You're going to be like pulling out like the high tier enchanted sword and just like running into the field of battle.
No, there will just be multiple mad tweets at This Is Us writers for doing that.
Well, This Is Us. If you want to avoid some mad tweets, you know exactly what to do. Now,
somebody's getting an angry tweet.
Oh boy. Now, this is gonna. I'm really excited for this episode. Regardless of who they choose, I hope it's satisfying, and I hope there's still time on the other side of it so that we can sort of build up and see where things go from here. Luckily, there's a big Miguel episode coming as well. So. Finally.
I cannot wait for that. Him walking Kate down the aisle, I just about died. My heart was so full. I mean, just to see that relationship come together in that way. I mean, oh my goodness. It's always nice to see that on shows, the relationships with step parents, because it's not always painted in the best light.
No.
But like, I have a great relationship with my stepmother. She is fantastic. So I love seeing these types of relationships on TV where it's just like the stepfather's walking her down the aisle. That's so sweet. I love it.
We're going to have sweet moments. We're going to cry ourselves to pieces. We have to prepare for all of it. But of course, we will be here on Tuesday to talk all about this Kevin episode. It's hopefully going to be a lively discussion. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that. Also, like Jess mentioned, check out the community board and the poll that we've got going on there about what other shows you guys are watching. And we'll see you here next time.